Good morning, I'm Rebecca and welcome to my sewing room. You might be wondering, why are you wearing an apron? You're not cooking, you're sewing. Well, today I'm wearing this apron because I'm going to remake this apron with a pattern and make it actually better than this one actually is. I am today using this cotton. It kind of actually has a stretch, so I'm not positive what all is in it, but it is a cotton. This patriotic army fabric. I'll be making this apron out of this. There's a few things that I made mistakes on when I made this apron, when I first sewed it. I didn't have a pattern. It literally came out of my head and I cut the fabric and just went with it. I didn't have any measurements or anything other than holding the fabric up to my waist and saying, sure, that's long enough. So, as you can see, when I take it off, I did not measure the necktie, so I had to tie it in a knot because I was too lazy to take it out and redo it. When I have it on, as you can see, the top is too high, it bunches and falls open. I don't love that. And again, I didn't measure anything. I did not have a long enough piece to make one big waistband and tie around the back. So I made the waistband and then it looks like this. So we're gonna make some adjustments on that as well. So let's go ahead and get going as we figure out how to do this. It's still gonna be on the fly, but I'm gonna make a pattern. And then it might be better. I might actually use measurements and all of that good stuff. So let's go. All right, I'm gonna put my apron back on because I do like where I have it hitting my waist at. And so with it on, I'm gonna then take the measurements for what I need. I do know that the skirt piece is 44 inches wide because that's the width of my fabric and I wanted to make sure I had enough to gather. So we will still do a 44-inch width. All right, let's see. The length of the skirt is 17 inches. I'm gonna go 18 inches. And actually I'm gonna cut it out 19 inches so I have a half inch of seam. And because this sits up so high, I obviously don't want it this tall. I want it to sit actually right about the top of my bust, so then hopefully it won't pull together anymore. So that is 7¼ inches. We'll go 8¼ inches for the seam allowance. And I do like the width of this. It gives a good cover on the top of my clothes, so I don't ruin them when I'm cooking. I'm really good at ruining them when I'm cooking. So that length is 13¼ inches. I'm gonna go 14¼ inches for those tabs on the side. And then from the edge of my skirt to the edge of my skirt, I need a length for the waistband. That's 20½ inches. If I go top of my bust, measure that as well, and my neck. It's about 26½ inches, so 27½ inches. And then I think I'm gonna do 30-inch ties around the back because that seems to be a good length. All right, let's get those pattern pieces drawn up, and then we can cut our fabric. So we will go ahead and cut out 44 inches this way. We're going to cut about a 2-inch width for the waistband. That'll give me enough for the seam allowance and still keep it the way I like it, which means my ties will have be 2 to 3 inches so that when I fold them over and sew them, they're not a janky size. Next time we're going to do 2 inches in width. We're going to do 27.5 inches long, so I'm going to have to do 31-inch size. So we'll do them both. Just have all the pieces. Top, neck, waist. Let's cut the rest of these out. And cut out our fabric. Can you cut out Can you tell I listened in kindergarten? I can cut straight lines. Plus, for my skirt, I only have to cut half of it. But I have a whole ton of extra length, but that's okay. I at least have the height, so I'll just use half of my pattern. See what happens when I do stuff in my head? I figure out the mistake as I'm working through it. That's okay, that's how we learn best. Since I have such a big piece of fabric, I am only going to do the skirt and then I will do the rest of it. So, we're just going to put this on and let it hang off the side and then I'll do this. There's the skirt of my apron. Now I'll get into the rest and I'm cutting the rest. I'm actually going to open up the fabric because I only need one of everything and nothing should be folded at this point. This is an apron for me and clearly I've already messed up the one I have on and I don't care because it is cute and it still protects my clothes from grease or splatters or I don't know, green water from asparagus or anything. The first thing I'm going to do is to iron the finishing edges of my top, the top of my apron, and the skirt of my apron, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do from there. I'm going to do one of the rolled hems, so it's got the finished edges, and it'll look nice when I'm finished. So we're going to go 1/4 inch on the first fold, and then 1/4 inch on the second fold at the top, and then also on the sides. Actually, I think I'm going to do the sides first to give it just that finished, the top to be more finished at those corners. I just realized I only cut out one waist tie. I was going to go ahead and press those in half so I could sew them, but I have to cut out another one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'll press that and then tie in half. And sew those together. Come back, now we got it taken care of. Now we can, whoops. I'm going to fold the necktie and the waist ties in half, press those, pin them, and then we can sew them when we sew the hems of our. The first thing I'm going to do is hem the skirt and the bib part of the apron, and then I will sew the ties together, and then we'll get started attaching it all. of storage and it stopped recording, but I've got my straps made and the ends are pressed and about ready to be finished, but I'm going to set all of my ties and straps to the side because the first thing I have to do is baste the apron, and we'll put on the waistband and attach the bib of the apron. We're going to use our bobbin thread, two of our gathers. I have some thin thread and it keeps breaking. Spread out some of my gathering stitches here. I'm going to have to hand gather this side since my string broke, but that's okay. With right sides together, pin your waistband to your skirt. Ow! That was stupid. I'm going to hand gather that first part as we go since the basting stitches broke. To line up, to line up the bib part approximately the center of the waistband. So I remember how I made my waistband originally. 20 inches. And this 13 approximately, so that gives me 3.5 inches on each side. Okay, we've got it all pinned, now we can stitch. I'm also going to top stitch the waistband, and that'll also allow me to hem this top part after the bib part, so we'll go ahead and take care of that. And same thing with the other one. The final step is to add my neck ties.